yes, Texas is a rival.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
It's time to step inside the hog pen.
What's up, everybody? Razorback Zach here, back home after 6 long months. Oh my goodness, man. A lot has changed in 6 months, but I'm back. I'm better than ever, and we are celebrating 10 years of Inside the Hog Pen, and we're kicking it off with a preseason special edition. We are weeks away from SEC Media Days, and it is the dynamic duo. D-Matt has decided to step away because fatherly duties call. And believe me, between me and my boy MC here, we know all about that. But I'd be remiss if I didn't do it for the 5th year in a row. Coming to you from the NEA Hog Pen, the man, the myth, the legend, the mentor, and, as if I have forgotten, the glue that has been professionally proven that holds the whole damn thing together, Marcus MC Carlton. What's up, MC? Dude, it's been a while.
Man, it has been a minute, man. It has definitely been a minute, and you know, I was a little apprehensive. I knew I had a little rust I had to knock off, but now that I'm sitting down here in the chair and I'm hearing you with the introductions and everything, and I heard that music hit, man, it feels like it's where it's supposed to be.
Man, I'm telling you right now, there's something about when that music hits. It's like the WWE. When that music hits, man, you just get jacked up, dude. You're ready to go. And you're not the only one with a little bit of rust, because holy crap, I was sitting here all day going, all right, dude, do I remember how to do this? I mean,
right, yeah. I was marking the setup we use. I have to kind of mouse around and use some things on my keyboard, and I'm sitting here going, oh God, how do I do this? I've forgotten how to do this. So it took me a minute to kind of figure everything out, but hopefully I won't punch too many buttons with my elbows tonight.
Yeah, y'all can't blame me for the board messing up, because I ain't touching it.
It's all me tonight, man. I'll learn it.
So we're starting first off season 10 years of ITHP. I'm going to be sharing stories throughout the season. Going to do things a little differently this year just because time constraints and scheduling and all that. Our official season kicks off July 29th at 7:30 p.m. That's the week after SEC Media Days, and we'll go through the football national championship. And if something happens, like I said, if something happens with basketball, MC, once basketball takes off, MC kind of takes over, and I take the co-pilot seat. He'll hit me up, and we'll do a show. But just to kind of see what's going on and where the fans are, we're going to change some things up. But I'm glad to be home. This is where I belong, behind the mic, here in the pen. I'm glad to be home. And another big announcement that I'm going to go ahead and announce now, MC, and you don't have a choice. October 10th, the day of the Tennessee game, Little Oktoberfest. That is our 6th year. I am officially emceeing, and not emceeing him, but like emceeing the event. But we're also going to have our own version of college game day. It's called Razorback Game Day, if you will. We're going to have the guys from Hawg HQ joining us. We've been working with them.
Nice.
And I know for a fact Matt will be there. I'm working on trying to get Adam and DP, but it's going to be fun. There's going to be a whole mess of us. Plus, we're going to be talking all night long about all the games, and who knows what else we're going to come up with. But hopefully, MC doesn't have a choice, but he's coming down. But before then,
I will have Pee Wee football that morning, but once that's over with, my schedule should be pretty clear. So,
well, and I wanted to do this, number one, because it's been a while, and I've got some things I want to say about these, state of Razorback athletics, because what the hell? I step away for 6 months, and now it goes to like, okay, first off, let's talk about Saban, and I know this doesn't have to do with Razorback athletics, but it has a connection to it. But let's talk about Saban going before Congress, because he said a couple of things that I thought was very noteworthy.
Okay.
If you will. And I know you haven't I know you've kind of had your schedule's been kind of busy, but MC, I don't know if you saw it. Did you catch this by
I
chance?
did. Yeah, I did. I got to listen to it. I didn't see it live, but I did get to go back and watch his entire, I guess, speech, presentation, whatever you want to call it. And I'm kind of like you. There were some things that when he said it, I'm kind of like, okay then. You know, kind of one of those.
So let me ask you, because you kind of, I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get slapped to the computer. You grew up with Lou Holtz in the Lou Holtz era.
Yeah, he was. I just barely remember him at Arkansas. I remember him more at Notre Dame. But,
Well, what I mean,
I'm familiar with Lou.
yeah. Well, what I mean by that is he was this inspirational coach. He always had the quote. He always had could you? And I was talking to my dad about this. I really feel like Nick Saban is this generation's version of Lou Holtz.
I can see
In
that.
a sense, because of how he coaches and the way he goes about it. You know.
Yeah.
But he said he supports NIL, but he doesn't support pay to play, which essentially, this is what it's come down to. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, it's and I don't disagree with him on that, because what NIL was intended to be and what it has become are at opposite ends of the spectrum. You know, it is definitely the, you know, you're basically, and I don't have a better analogy to use, but this is like hiring mercenaries. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It goes to the highest bidder. You know, who's going to give you the most money or the most whatever to go along in your little package. They come in, they're a hired gun for 1 year, and then you're going to have to most likely up your package at the end of the year to get them to come back again. I mean, the loyalty has switched from the name on the front of the jersey to the name on the back of the jersey. And more so, it's switched to this. It's all about this and who's going to give me the most money.
Oh yeah. And you know, and we've talked about this many times. Everything that's legal now, is the stuff. Yeah, what is the stuff?
Exactly? Yeah, what exactly is illegal now?
I don't think anything's illegal now. Honest to God, I don't think anything is off the table now.
Yeah, I mean it's been really. I mean, I've said this before, man. If I'm an old school SMU fan, I'm like livid. If I was a fan that lived through them getting the death penalty and all that, right, dude, I would just be. I'd probably be off my rocker right now.
The other thing he said was, let me fix my mic here. There we go. The other thing that he said too was the NIL favors the richest programs, and that's the only thing that I kind of disagreed on him on. Is if you think about it, when NIL started, you had everybody coming out going, "Oh, well, it's going to be Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, all the big name blue blood programs."
Yeah.
Well, you fast forward 6 years, and here comes little old Indiana with a second-year head coach, and not a 4-star on that team. There's not a 4-star on that team, MC.
Right. But
and they win everything.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just, you know, oh, they won the big game. No, they won the Peach Bowl. They won the big the conference. They won the Heisman. And then they turn around and undefeated season, and they win the national championship. It ain't Alabama. Yeah. It ain't Georgia. It's little old not known laughing stock of college football, Indiana.
Yeah,
I love the quote that Signetti said. He said, "Well, we did all that less than $40 million. It ain't about the money, MC."
Well, it's about, you know, if you go the Signetti route, and he's more of the exception rather than the rule. I mean, you talk about a perfect unicorn type situation with him and who he brought in, Mendoza, all those guys. What he was going out and doing in the portal when he was getting these guys, he was getting the older guys. I mean, if you look, their roster was chock full of 23, 24, 25-year-old guys, and it was guys who had a chip on their shoulder because they had been told they weren't good enough to play at D1 schools or at the high level D1 schools. They weren't good enough for the Michigans and the Ohio States and the Georgias and the Alabamas and the Texases and, all of the same names that you hear every single year in every preseason poll. He went out and built this team on guys who had a vendetta. They had been told, man, you're a good player, but you're a G5 or G6 level player. You're not a power 4 level. And these guys all came together, and the fact that he was able to get them to do this put their egos in check and everybody having the one collective effort. I mean, I got to admit, man, it was fun to watch. And the other thing about this, Indiana is the losingest program in the history of college football. And yet here they are now defending national champs. That's got to give hope to pretty much any Power 4 school, even little old Arkansas, that maybe one day it could happen.
And I mean, that's true. That's true. But again, as we've said many times on this program, Arkansas snake bit. Okay.
I think they're gut shot, man. I think it's worse than a snake bite. I think it's gut shot.
Now, and again, like I said, we'll go further into Saban's comments as the season goes on. But one of the things that I want to get off my chest, you've got, I want to say you counted 5 multi-billion-dollar corporations in Northwest Arkansas, and you couldn't get a single one of them to sign on to the damn stadium. You had to go somewhere. I ain't even heard of this Federal Credit Union.
I haven't either until this, but I like where you're going with this because I have a little different stance. So we're gonna get to go kind of point counterpoint on this.
Wait a minute. Okay, here's the thing. All right. Now, number one, you wait 2 years and you tease that this is the biggest, it's going to be this big name. It's going to be a huge contract. It's going to be the, whatever, right? And this is the thing. And I'm going to get up on my soapbox for a minute because it irritates me. And, we tease that it's Walmart or it's Tyson because of the way that Tyson has been throwing money at the basketball program or what have you. And that's fine. But then you come out 13 years, $70 million.
Well, and that is that. I mean, from everything I've read, that is the biggest naming rights contract in college sports right now.
But that's all we know about it. That's the problem. We don't know any. If this is the biggest, and if you think about it, this is becoming the story. It's what they're not saying that's becoming the story. It's not the fact that we've got a new stadium name now. By the way, Cars, Kachiga.
Cars, or I come up with another one too, because I was trying to think of something about, so I looked up, and with the help of AI, I put a question in. I was like, what is a community of wild boars called? So like a group, like a community of wild boars. And it is a sounder. A sounder. So the stadium can be known as the Sounder because that's going to be a community of Razorbacks coming together.
For a great 3-9 season.
Yeah. I mean, 2-10, 3-9, whatever we're looking at. But you can, I can hear Brad Nessler, which I won't hear him anymore because he's still at CBS, but I can hear him coming in and saying, it's a cool night here in the Ozarks as the Hogs take the field at the Sounder to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. I can kind of see that. But yeah, I like the Cars. I like that, but it doesn't quite fit into, you are looking live at Cars. It just doesn't quite have the same ring to me. But I like look, we got to do something with the Disney thing and the Ka-chow and Lightning McQueen and all that. You gotta do something with that because we gotta have a lot of sizzle because we don't have a lot of steak coming into this, so we gotta sell the sizzle.
I just had a thought, MC. Oh, and I'm going to hell for this too, just so you know.
Yeah, you realize that the whole stigma of Arkansas, if we go with the Cars front, it's not going to be Lightning McQueen, it's going to be Mater.
Oh, God.
Mater is how everybody's going to look at Arkansas. We're playing football.
It is. Okay. So instead of so you know how they play Stone Cold there in third
Yeah.
down, right?
Yeah.
It's third down.
Yeah.
Oh my
First
God.
one making the tackle.
I
Well, yeah, you know what, dude? Embrace it. Put Mater up there on the screen on third down and be like, "Come on, y'all, make some noise."
get her done. Oh my God.
They don't need to hire some high dollar marketing department. Just put us in charge of it, man.
There you
We'll
go.
have people making noise. They may be cussing us, but they'll be making noise.
Which is different from when.
Well, fair. That's fair.
Which is different from when. but and this is the thing. The total dollar value, the contract length,
Yeah.
the annual payment, and the incentives and the escalators type things has not been released yet. Okay, and the omission itself is what has become the story, because if the fans and the media thought that this was, noticed that if this were a blockbuster financial agreement, there would be everything laid out on the table. Okay, we'd know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We would know everything there is to know about this.
Well, and the fact that they ran it through the foundation so it would not be FOIable on the details, that throws a little bit of a red flag with me, because
Well, keep in
why
mind,
would they
too,
not want the details out there if it is this great and wonderful deal? Why would you not want all of the details out there? Because even if you've got people in on this that have, because I can hear the argument now, well, we don't want, Ole Miss to go copy what we've done with, Community America Credit Union. We don't want them to go and talk to Bancorp South and mimic the same deal we did, or one-up us on the deal.
well, and that
info is going to get out anyway.
That I understand, but here's the other thing that definitely threw the red flag for me.
Mm-hmm.
You let it slip the day before from a no-name media member?
Yeah. So the way that everybody found out about this is
Like,
just pretty much a great big accident.
nobody,
There
was no announcement made.
that spoke out of class.
There was no name. I mean, there was no announcement made. It was just,
Yeah.
it was a literal slip of the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, oops. And I'm just, that, to me as a fan, again, that was it didn't sit right.
It's a little bit of a head scratcher as to why, again, if this is as big a deal as they claim it to be, why would you not blow it up with all the pomp and circumstance and have, confetti falling from the sky, and, especially, given the situation that Hunter Yurchek has been in with his status with the majority of the fan base. If this is a big win for him, dude, I'd be out there leading the marching band with it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd have the confetti going. I'd have the little, whatever the little stick is.
And some of the things that he said during that press conference, just
yeah. Well, and I got to correct myself here, because I said they ran it through the foundation. It was not through the foundation. It was through Learfield, which is, the company that handles all of the marketing for U of A. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of with you here. Now, this being said, I said I had a counterpoint to the point you were taking. I've been really hard pressed to find anything positive to say about Yurchek. He did get the deal done.
I don't know if you've listened on my segment on Dave Ellswick here recently, which I'm on hiatus from it just because it's a dead period. But I have essentially ripped Hunter Yurchek a new one every week.
Mm-hmm. Well, and prior, up until the point where this deal was signed, I mean, he'd kind of earned it. I mean, in all honesty, he'd kind of earned the criticism that he was getting. Now, I will give him credit for getting this. I don't quite understand why it's not starting until 2027 football season. That's one of those questions that we didn't get answered.
That's
Yeah.
another thing. Why are they waiting a year?
Now, I will say this from the Community America standpoint of it, if you're looking to grow your product into the state of Arkansas, this is a genius way to do it. I think I saw they've got 3 branches up in Northwest Arkansas, all right there, Fayetteville, Springdale, Bentonville, somewhere around in there.
But
They're all up
here's
in
the
there.
thing. Here's the thing, though, MC. Until Arkansas releases the contract and makes all of this stuff public, nobody can honestly say whether Hunter Yurachek hit a home run or sold one of the SEC's most recognizable stadium names for pennies.
Well, and I don't know that we'll ever see those details of the contract, because I think that was the whole point of running it through Learfield, so they don't have to take it public if they don't want to.
Surely
now-
surely those it's going to get out. Surely.
I don't know. I mean, I think eventually we may see some of it, but my thought here is, you mentioned early on, none of the big businesses in Arkansas that you would think would be the usual suspects, none of them bought into this. Tyson has made it clear where he's going to put his money. He's not interested in football. He's a basketball guy.
Okay, but
A man after my own heart. He's a basketball guy.
well, yeah, but here's the thing about that though. You've already entered in an agreement to put Tyson on all of freaking uniforms. Why not just name the damn stadium?
Well, I mean,
Why not circumvent? Why not
he's got to be
circulate
willing to come off of. He's got to be willing to open up that checkbook again, and he may not want to open it up again. And honestly, I mean, if you look at it from an investment standpoint, if you're John Tyson, what's the better investment right now, basketball or football? Well, that's a no-brainer, and I've got more to say about this. We may get to it tonight, we may not, but the clock is a ticking on basketball, because as great as Calipari is, he's not getting any younger. So, I think we've got a limited window there, and I think this is just me speaking. I may be completely off, but this is the way I see it. I think Tyson wants to go. He wants to push all his chips to the middle of the table for basketball, because that's his friend. He knows his friend is, winding down on the backside of his career, and he wants to do everything he can to help his friend get another title and bring another title here to Arkansas. Football's the moneymaker. Football's the one that everybody goes to.
Well, and I asked you this. Right, I guess it was right after the tournament.
Mhm.
He's been to back-to-back Sweet 16s, which is great, by the way. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
which is great. But when are we going to get that Final Four? When are we going to get that national championship? When are we going to get over the hump? Because here's the thing. The fans turned on Muss because he couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
he just
and
crapped
Russ
the
brought
bed
some of
last
that on himself too.
He just
I
crapped
mean,
the bed that last year. But
Yeah.
I have a feeling that if Calipari does not get to at least the Elite Eight next year, the fans are going to turn on him.
See, I don't know, man. I don't know, because if you look, and I know that we all focus on the wins and losses, but if you look at how mainstream the Razorback basketball program is right now, I don't know that it's ever been more popular. Maybe around the time of Day and Mayberry, but we're seeing the Arkansas name pop up. Corliss and Scotty and those guys never played at Madison Square Garden. They never had a documentary type TV show following them around. Of course, that wasn't a thing back then, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, the amount of marketing value and credibility that he's brought to the program. I mean, it's, and playing on Thanksgiving night and, being in these marquee made for TV games. I mean, you're seeing things here that I don't remember ever seeing at this level for Arkansas.
Well, yeah.
As far as publicity and being in the mainstream. I mean, you had Calipari at the draft the other night. They did a whole segment with him at the draft. I mean, Noah was great, but he might get a soundbite, and that might be it.
Well, but I mean, and again, my bread and butter is football. Your basketball.
Right.
You could probably pull me down off the ledge here, but at the end of the day, Yeah, he's Hall of Fame coach. Same exact. I mean, that's all well and good. But and again, another Sweet
It's a
16
fair
run.
question, man. It's a fair question.
And I'm not dogging Calipari, or as Dave likes to say, Guido.
Yeah.
But at some point, like we say with Dave Van Horn, at the end of the day, it ain't about the almosts.
Yeah.
It ain't about how close you can get. It's about how many championships you won. Now, granted, he's won at Kentucky. Yippee! That ain't here.
Yeah.
You know,
and a lot of people, if you talk to and I know this is a weird term to say, but the sensible Kentucky fans, there are a few of them out there.
I don't know about all that.
They're rare, man. They're kind of like Bigfoot and Sasquatch. You have to go really try to find them. They're hard to find.
Wow, did you really just pull Bigfoot and Sasquatch out in the same argument as Kentucky fans?
In the same way as Kentucky fans, because the ones that are realistic and have sense about them are about as rare as seeing Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But when you do find one and they talk, there was a small contingency of fans that, while they still liked Calipari, they still supported him. They definitely felt like he underachieved given all the talent that he brought in. And if you look at the talent that went through there, man, I mean, that's a fair comment to make. And if you look at it, I mean, we're looking at the number one recruiting class in the country right now that is coming in next year, Jordan Smith Jr. and, the instant kid.
Is Jordan Smith Jr. gonna take the same pathway as his namesake's predecessor?
Well, you're seeing some of the hype already because
is he gonna have right-knee management for 3/4 of the season?
No. I don't think he will be one of those. I think he'll be more like Acuff and play through the pain if he does get hurt. I mean, if you remember Acuff, he had several games where he was in a boot all week and he'd come out and put up 30 when the lights come on.
It's funny you should mention Acuff. Did you hear what Calipari had said about Acuff after the Alabama loss?
That he was asking him if he was going to have to miss that game.
No, he called Acuff into the office and he goes, hey man, to take the next game off.
Yeah,
rest, take the next game off. Acuff looked at him and goes, did you see the game the other night? We lost.
Yeah. I mean, he's the dog, man. He's one of those hardcore top players that
they slept on him. They slept on him in the draft, by the way.
Well, and I think he'll make them pay. And there's a couple opportunities coming up this weekend. If you're struggling for something to watch this weekend, the summer league for the NBA. I've got this on my phone. I didn't think to put it into the show, but I've got it on my phone here. There's a couple opportunities coming up Saturday, 4:00 on, if you've got ESPN Plus, Sacramento and Brooklyn play in the summer league. And then on Sunday, also at 4:00, Golden State and Sacramento play. So you got a couple opportunities there to see Acuff for the Kings coming up this weekend. But it's, getting back to Jordan Smith Jr. in this recruiting class, number one recruiting class in the country, they're very young, but these guys that are coming in, if you get the number one class in the country, you're expected to move beyond the Sweet 16, barring, somebody having, God forbid, but having season-ending injuries or something like that. If everybody stays healthy, I mean, the hype that will be around this team will be as much, if not maybe a little more than last year's.
This is his third year, right?
Yes.
Calipari.
Yes, third year.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I know he's going into the portal his first year and just glued a team together, right? That team kind of held together last year. So would you consider this his first true recruiting class?
Oh, man.
Because these are all his guys now. There's not any carryover. There's not any carryover from Muss's teams. So this has got to be his first recruiting class.
Yeah, Brazil was a carryover. I think he may have been about the only one that was a carryover that didn't come in. That first year he got those kids from Kentucky to come in, Billy Richmond, Wagner, and Thero, and there was somebody else, I thought. But those three come in. Well, then, you get Acuff and Malik Thomas and those guys, in this recruiting class. I would say this one is probably his second class. That class last year with Acuff and Malik Thomas and the kid from Springdale, whose name is escaping me at the moment, Isaiah Seeley. I would count that as his first. So this would be actually his second true recruiting class, not just trying to band-aid a roster together.
All right, but like I said, hey, and the comparison can be made with Dave Van Horn, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to look at how many conference titles he's got. They're not going to look at how many division titles or stuff like that. They're going to look at how many national championships he's got, okay? Let's back up here for a minute, all right? We can have the best recruiting class, have a great home record, but somehow choke in Omaha. But Oklahoma has a losing season in the SEC, sub 500, barely make the tournament, barely make the SEC tournament, and win the damn thing. Why can't we do that?
You know what that is? That is
what that is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it is the baseball gods flying the middle finger, the double middle finger, the Stone Cold Special at Dave Van Horn and Arkansas fans, that yet another SEC team catches fire at the end of the season after being absolute trash all year long. They won 4 series. Yeah, all SEC season. They won 4 series. They were like 14-16.
14-16
in conference play.
Yeah, and they win the national.
And they get on a roll. They knock off the number 2 overall seed Georgia Tech in Atlanta, in their house. Go to Kansas, wipe the floor with Kansas, which I got to say, had we taken care of business at Kansas, Baum would have had the super regional, and Oklahoma's not getting out of that super regional.
Oh,
I can guarantee you that.
Heck no.
But, you know, it's if a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his when he hops. So,
well,
you know.
Okay, that's got to be a sound clip. That's got to go in the new intro. You got to clip that. That's got to go in the new intro. No more, I've got a river for... No, that's got to be the new one. Oh, my God, that was great.
I mean, you know, we can sit here and talk about the ifs all day long, but the bottom line is, man, they're going to hang a banner or put the big sticker on their outfield wall, whatever they decide to do. Well, and it's just another... You know, it's pouring more salt in the open wound of Razorback baseball fans.
Yeah. So, and like I said, with football on the horizon, you knew I was going to ask, what's your take on Ryan Silverfield? If you can't beat him, buy him out.
Well, you know, I think he's come in, he's said all the right things. He's doing what you would expect a new coach to do. He's trying to unify the fan base, because the fan base was kind of split on, you still had some that were pretty supportive of Pittman, even though things were clearly going off the tracks and he had kind of mentally checked out and was ready to retire. You know, you still had some that were going to support him no matter what. You had others like us that were like, okay, this is not working. Let's get the guy out of here. Let's get somebody else in. Silverfield was not my first choice.
He was not even on my radar.
But when you have the program in the state it's in, you know, here's an analogy that I think works for Razorback football right now, okay? Razorback football, the program, and a lot of people don't want to admit this, but this is where it is. It was a person who hadn't eaten in, let's say, 2 or 3 days, starving for any kind of anything. You know, well, when you're starving, you're not real, and somebody offers you something to eat, you're not real picky about what you're going to get. So I wouldn't necessarily compare Silverfield to a bologna sandwich. You know, he's above that. I would put him at a good cheeseburger, but he's not the big tomahawk steak that everybody was wanting to chase, you know, a few years ago. You know, when Pittman was hired, we were chasing a tomahawk steak. We were chasing Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
And that would have been a tomahawk steak hire. I don't care what happened at the end. I would have taken all of that to have the success that Ole Miss has had the last few years. On Silverfield, though, I think it's a good hire, but man, he's got his work cut out for him. He's really got his work cut out for him, because rebuilding this program in 2026 in the world of NIL, when all we've heard is limited resources, and we're kind of back in that thing of what I heard in the early 2000s of we're just poor little old Arkansas. We're kind of back to that. Actually, it's worse now than it was then, because then we were at least winning 6 and 7 games a year. Now, we're in as bad a shape now, and people still fight me on this, but I said it, and you can go back and look at our archives. I said it last year. By the time Pittman leaves, he will have done more long-term damage than Chad Morris did.
Well,
and I stand by that. I will die on that hill.
Funny you should mention good old Chad Morris. A lot of people are comparing Ryan Silverfield to Chad Morris.
I've seen that. I don't know that that's a fair comparison.
That's not a fair comparison, because
I don't like that comparison. I think, and I get why they're doing it, because he's got his thing with the all-in.
It's better than left lane hammer down.
Well, but it's kind of a, just looking at it on the surface, it's a cheesy slogan. But if you listen to Silverfield talk, all in is just not a slogan with him. I mean, it's what he truly believes is his philosophy.
It's not a
success.
It's not like
be all in every single day.
Yeah, it's not like never yield. It's not like we didn't come to pain. It's his philosophy, not a catchphrase.
You know what this is, right? This is his nice professional way of saying we're not going to have anything. Okay, everybody in Arkansas is familiar with the phrasing of half-ass. If you're like me, you heard that from your old man growing up. Don't half-ass it, son. If you're going to do it right.
In fact, the conversation I had with my dad today, he said those very words.
That is that all in and half. Don't half and all in. It's basically saying the same thing. It's just one is packaged a little better than the other one. But if he come out in some kind of soundbite and said something about, hey, we're not going to have out here at practice, the fan base would eat that up, because that relates to the common people like us, like the majority of this fan base. Now, he's not going to do that. I can almost feel the cringe coming from the marketing department and the higher ups at the university if he was to say that.
But I'm interested to see how he handles SEC Media Days in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah. I think it's a couple weeks out, and I think he's on the last day.
He's on the last day. He's about midday.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting for sure, because there's going to be some questions thrown at him, and I mean he and the guy at Auburn and the guy at Florida, they're all coming up from G6 schools.
Alex Bullish and
golly, the guy at Tulane that everybody called him Lane Kiffin Jr.
Yeah,
took the Florida job, and I can't remember his name right now.
The name escapes me.
Yeah, here's the thing. I would have been okay with hiring that guy, but he took the Florida job, and honestly, that's a better job than ours.
Did you catch any of the highlights from the Red White game?
Back in the spring? No.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't see any of it.
We got work to do.
I did not hear anything real positive from it.
I just the whole time I was just like, this is exactly how it looked. I was just going, oh God.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about it.
Our secondary looked fantastic, but I think it's because our quarterbacks look like poo-poo.
I mean,
our receivers can't catch a ball.
That's a problem.
That's a big problem. Now, again, it's a spring game. You're not going to see nothing. I kept trying to tell myself that. It's going to be fine. But y'all better get used to 3-9.
But you can only hide so many warts. No matter how much makeup you put on, you can only hide so many warts.
Polish a turd. It's still a turd. There's my soundbite.
Yeah.
But no, and the thing is, and again, for me personally, he's going to get a pass his first year, because this was a dumpster fire. This was an absolute train wreck.
Yeah. This was probably, let me ask you this, because we all know this was a bad train wreck. Was this? I want to get your opinion before I give my answer.
Okay.
Was the train wreck we're coming off of the 2025 season? Was it a worse train wreck than the John L. Smith season?
Ooh.
'Cause part of me wants to say yes, but then at the same time, if you go back and look, preseason 2012, we were top 10 preseason, and just completely drove.
There was a lot more. Okay, so there was a lot more talent on that 2012 team.
Yeah,
Across
more
the board.
talent. Yeah,
You're coming on,
a lot more expectations. You're
There-
coming on.
yeah.
You're the best season in school history.
and you just absolutely tanked to 4-8.
Yeah,
I
and I mean, I think it's a fair question. You know, there was not the hype coming into 2025 that there was going into 2012, but
okay. So
you know, 2-10, 4-8. There's not a lot of difference there.
sorry, 2-10.
We were 2-10 last year, 2025. Or no,
We were 3-9.
no, we only beat Arkansas State and whoever the season opener was.
Yeah, we went 10 straight. That's right. Because we kept losing the same way every game.
Because after the Arkansas State game, I mean, that was it. That was the last win.
I'm looking. If for those of you that are watching the live stream, I'm actually leaning over. I've got the schedule from last year over here to remind me of how bad that train wreck was. Give me a sec.
I don't remember who the Notre Dame. That was the other. That was the other non-conference game.
Yeah. You're right, and that was a disaster.
Ooh, boy, that was bad. That was bad.
I had a watch party that game, and we didn't make the halftime before we.
Everybody's like, I'm out.
No, we sat around and played board games, dude.
Yeah.
See, I want to say yes because again, there was a lot of talent on that 2012 team,
Uh-huh.
a lot more expectations, and again, you're coming off one of the best seasons of in school history. But at the same time, you're with an interim coach that you know is not going to be there the following year. So I don't think, me personally, I'm gonna go not really, because to me 2012 was a wash.
Mhm.
But the one stickler in 2012 that sticks with me till my dying day is taking a knee against Louisiana Monroe on the 2-yard line instead of kicking a field goal.
I was at that Louisiana Monroe game. That,
So was I.
oh boy, that was rough.
I'm like, kick the field goal, take the win, go ahead.
You know, the fact that my, at that time, girlfriend decided to go ahead and marry me after seeing my reaction to that loss.
By the way, happy belated anniversary.
Thank you. That should have proved it to me right there that she was going to be the one, because if she could survive watching me through that, I don't think there's anything that our marriage can endure. And, you know, so far I've been correct with that.
Well, Miss Heather she is a godsend, my friend. I will say
It is a one in a million kind of deal for sure.
Well,
But, you know, that
bottom line,
2012, you know, I mean, that,
you knew, but again, you knew going into 2012 that it was going to be one of those. You knew going in that it was going to be one of those seasons. You didn't quite know what to expect.
yeah, I mean, the expectations,
With
you know, realistically changed.
with
when-
2025,
Yeah.
it was same story, different chapter.
Mhm.
All right, you, because you and I sat right here with D-Matt a year ago, and I told you, y'all know me. I get excited. I drink the Kool-Aid. I'm excited, but I didn't have. 2-10 is what I had last year.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I think I had 4-8. I think
There was no way because there were so many unknowns and there was too many inconsistencies. Not to mention, Taylor Green couldn't. Anyway,
Speaking of inconsistencies, you know, I mean, golly, man, he was just all over the place. And to steal your line, here's the thing about that 2025 season.
hashtag.
If you go back to that first SEC game down at Oxford at Ole Miss.
Do we have to relive that?
How much? Well, just follow me here. How much does the rest of the season change if Taylor Green leads them down and gets a game-winning score right there instead of fumble? Because, you know, we were moving the ball. if you remember that drive, we were moving the ball downfield. We had gotten into Ole Miss territory, had, I don't know, a minute and a half or something left, minute 15, something.
But just like every other Razorback game, and you said it 2 years ago, you said that weird things happen down in Oxford.
Yeah, it's all. I have been to several Arkansas Ole Miss games in Oxford for basketball and football both, and something out of the ordinary, off the wall happens. You got the Hunter Henry heave. You have that fumble last year on the drive, potentially the game-winning drive.
The KJ fumble.
The KJ, oh my God. The game in 2021, I actually saw a TikTok of it where Matt Corral and KJ were just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We score with like 7 seconds left in regulation. Sam makes the decision to go for 2. I don't hate the decision. I don't hate the decision to go for 2.
The play that he called was what pissed me off.
Yeah.
But again, and I'll even say it now, okay? I'll say it before the season starts for us in a couple of weeks. But I'm going to go ahead and say it now. The 2 games that you need to watch for this season.
I'll put the schedule up. There you go.
Right? Or right there. September 12th and September 19th. Those are the 2 games that this entire season hinges on. Oh, well, we got it. It doesn't matter. Those 2 games right there will set the precedent for the rest of the season. Because if you can go to the West Coast and kick the of Utah and then turn around and come home and kick out of Georgia, dude.
Well,
go for it. All right.
There may be some kicking going on in that Georgia game, but I'm afraid we're going to be on the recipient side of it rather than the delivering side.
Do you really? I mean, okay. Now wait a minute.
Okay.
Do you really think? And since you said that, do you really think that Georgia is the same powerhouse it's been the last 10 years?
They may have a down year by their standard, but the difference in talent is still going to be pretty significant between Arkansas and Georgia. Georgia may end up with a 9-win season this year. For them, that's, they'll probably have people getting ready to jump off bridges over a 9-win season because they have been a juggernaut the last few years. But still, they're loaded with talent. If they can keep them from, driving 106 in a 55-mile-an-hour speed zone, they'll have a lot of talent on the field.
Nicely done there, dude. Nicely done.
I mean, the rust is coming off, man. It's getting back. I think that one could get ugly. I really do. Now, those 2 games you mentioned, Utah and Georgia, you got to go 1-1 in those games. Utah is going to be breaking in a new coach this year. Their coach left, Kyle Whittingham. He left. I believe he took the Michigan job, I believe.
Yeah. Now the thing is I think Michigan's still on postseason ban, so
they're still in some kind of trouble.
I don't understand why anybody would want that, but that's just me.
You can be in trouble, they're in trouble. But Utah is going to be breaking in a lot, and then let's not forget about the incoming freshman quarterback at, wait for it, Utah, who is from Greenwood. If they get an opportunity,
what was his name? His name that was on Final Jeopardy last night. Candy Cane. No.
Cain is Abel.
The Big Red Machine. No, that's not in here. Kane Archer. Which why you whiffed on him and let him go to Utah instead of Arkansas, I'll never understand. But
and you know what? I don't blame Silverfield for that one. Silverfield came in, I feel like, did everything he could do with some of these in-state kids. He got a few of them. But Archer had, already kind of set things in stone, so to speak, with Utah. And I can commend the kid for sticking to his commitment rather than backing out. Because, it probably could have been easy to back out and say, hey, I'm going to stay home. I want to be a part of something special here. But he'd
have been some part of something special, but it wouldn't have been a winning season.
That's the thing. And maybe it's a wait and see kind of deal with him. With the way things are right now, who's to say that he could go to Utah for a year and not have the year he's expecting to have? Let's say Arkansas surprises some people and wins 4 or 5 games. And
that would be wait a minute. you know the football program is in shambles when we surprise people by women winning 4 or 5 games. People are talking about we can surprise people winning 8, 9 games. Arkansas, we surprise people by winning 5 games.
I'm telling you, 5. If this bunch
The optimism coming out of MC right now is just mind blowing.
If they win 5, you need to make Silverfield the SEC Coach of the Year, because I just don't see it. I don't see the talent there. There's too many unknowns, like you were talking about earlier.
We're gonna look.
Let me finish my Kate Archer thought, and then we can move on. Who's to say that he could go up there? Utah has a year where somebody establishes himself as the drop down QB1, and he sees he's not going to see the field for 2 or 3 years. Arkansas, maybe KJ Jackson doesn't have a good year, or maybe he has a really good year and gets somebody else wants to steal him away in the portal. It opens the door for Kane Archer to come back home if he wants to do that. So, I mean, it's not, like he's gone forever. I mean, let's not forget that one of the greatest quarterbacks in Razorback history didn't start his career as a Razorback. He started at Michigan. And then when they had a coaching change, he transferred, rest in peace, 1-5. He came in and, just became an absolute legend. Who's to say that couldn't happen again?
That is true. That is very true. But the thing is, the difference between that is he's from Arkansas, where Mallet. Well, no, I take that back. Mallet was technically from Texarkana. Well, now was it the Arkansas side or the Texarkana? Because that was the argument.
He attended Texas High. So make of that what you will, because I believe Dennis Johnson was at Arkansas High when Mallet. I think there was a little bit of overlap with them when one of them was at Texas High and the other one was at Arkansas High, but. Texarkana, it's close enough that I'm going to claim it. I don't care if he played on the wrong side of the city. I'm still going to claim it.
Right. If you had to look at all 16 teams in the SEC right now, who's the team to watch for outside of LSU? Because that's LSU. And I'm going to say it as an Arkansas fan. I'm going to say it. LSU scares the out of me.
I mean, they're going to be good. But the question is, are they going to be good enough for the standard that LSU wants them to be? Because I can tell you right now, if they go 9-3, there's going to be some of those crazy Cajuns down there calling for Lane Kiffin's head.
After Brian Kelly,
I think so.
Not on year one.
I think if he comes in and goes 9-3, and one of those 3 losses is to Ole Miss.
Well,
they're gonna turn the heat up on the hot.
That's a little different, but that's like saying, Kalen DeBoer still has a job after going 8-4 at Alabama. Alabama hadn't gone 8-4 since before Saban.
Yeah, I mean Saban had that first year where he went 6-5, and then they didn't look back after that.
They didn't look back after that.
For them, after that was like 9 or 10.
Yeah. Programming.
All 16 teams, man. It's God. As much as I hate to say it, you got to look out for Texas, man.
I know you did not just say that.
I'm choosing Texas.
I'm going LSU.
Texas. I mean, I'm looking at SEC power rankings from Saturday down south now. Your top 3: Texas, Georgia, LSU.
Arkansas's what? Dead last.
Yeah, dead last. Which,
there was a time.
I get it, but
there was a time we were middle of the pack and Vanderbilt was dead last.
Yeah.
What the
I look for Vanderbilt to take a step back this year after Diego's gone. I look for them to step back a little bit.
I'm still taking LSU. I just
okay.
I'm gonna do like you did last year and get on the Lane train.
I'm gonna be an Ella fella and choose Texas.
Nah, you don't say that publicly anymore. Just don't do that.
I am a proud Ella fella. I will wear that badge. Yep. I can tell by the way I'm two-stepping around the room.
Oh my God, you just did it. Oh, you just sweet.
I mean,
are you going to the concert that's coming to North Little Rock?
I mean, I haven't ruled it out.
Oh, MC. Give me your man card. Just give it to me. Give it here.
Have you looked at her?
Yes, I've looked at her.
Okay.
Carrie Underwood's still my girl. Carrie Underwood's still my girl.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Carrie Underwood's still number one on my list.
She's kind of moved out of the spotlight and kind of secondary now. I mean, Ella fellas are taking over the world, man.
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
got the Swifties.
Oh man! All right, time to final thought. Do you want to go first, MC? Because I got a special one. I got.
Yeah, man. I don't have a whole lot, but I will say, after the hiatus, man, and everything that's been going on, probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, man, this felt good. This was a nice way to kind of knock the rust off and get ready for SEC Media Days. And then, man, football season's just right around the corner. I mean, we're at the beginning of July now. You get Media Days behind you, then it's time for dudes to start reporting to campus and doing those voluntary workouts. And I mean, before you know it, man, it'll be time to get everything ready for the tailgates and get ready for North Alabama on September 5th. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't have any expectations out of this season, but it's still Razorback football, and I'm still gonna watch. Am I as all in as I usually am? Not yet. But by the time the end of August rolls around, I mean, I say right now, I'm like, man, I ain't planning my life around this. I'm not, if I watch, fine. If I don't, fine. We all know that's not going to happen. We all know what's going to happen on Saturdays. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go to my son's Pee Wee game. The instant that's over, I'm coming back home. I'm getting on the couch, and I'm getting ready to watch a Razorback game. Whether they win, lose, whatever, I'm going to be there.
Yep.
I mean, nobody can ever accuse me of being a front runner, because it is damn hard to be a Razorback fan.
It's so hard to be a Razorback fan.
So that's
it's like being a Cowboy fan. You just jeez. Oh man,
there's a lot of similarities.
I'm right there with you. It felt good to be back after 6 months, man. And I got baptized on Sunday, by the way.
That's awesome.
That's pretty big for me.
It's awesome.
But glad to be back. I'm back home. We're celebrating 10 years. It has been a wild 10 years. And I'll tell you this, when the season starts at July 29th, we'll have stories, including the story of how I brought MC on that most people don't know, which is fun because he'll be celebrating his 6th year while we'll be, as a show itself, be celebrating 10 years. But Saturday, 250 years, 2.5 centuries. For 250 years, this nation has endured wars. They've endured economic hardships and tragedy, moments when the world thought America would fall. Yet every time, we stood back up. On September 11th, 2001, terrorists attacked the homeland. They brought down the buildings, but they didn't bring down America. And when the smoke cleared and the dust settled, the flag was still flying, and our people stood together. Today, our greatest challenge doesn't come from across the ocean. It comes from within. We're told to see red states, blue states, left, right, black, white, rich, poor. But somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing each other as Americans. As a United States Army veteran, I never served beside Republicans or Democrats. I never served beside red states or blue states. I never served beside blacks and whites. I served beside Americans, brothers and sisters from every background, every race, every creed, united by something greater than ourselves. We wore the same flag on our shoulders, took the same oath, and stood for the same country. If America can survive 250 years of challenges, if we can overcome wars, if we can overcome terror, division, and every hardship we've faced, we can overcome this too. So this 4th of July, let's remember that the Stars and Stripes belong to all of us. We don't have to agree on everything to love our country, and we don't have to think alike to stand together. But before anything else, we're Americans. So happy birthday, happy 250th birthday, America. When we never forget where we've been, what we've overcome, and what we're still capable of accomplishing together. God bless America, go Hogs, and have a safe and happy Independence Day. For MC, I'm glad to be home, glad to be back with my buddy We'll see you guys Wednesday, July 29th, 7:30 p.m. right here on Inside the Hog Pen. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hog Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider, and be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.